the other countries like Australia, Europe, UK and so on are basically recipients of AI. We're all using it in these countries, but we're not making it. Only the US and China are making AI, and they're engaged in this, as I say, a battle for supremacy. And it's, it's all gloves are off, but, we're all kind of not victims, I'd say. I mean, we're part of the game, we're part of the fight, but we're not actually fighting, as it were.
Yeah, okay. So then in terms of the AI race, who is ahead at this stage, China or the US?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? The US AI models, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini mainly, are slightly better than the new ones from China. So that in May, over a period of 4 days in May, China's companies released 4 new AI models, which are almost as good, but not quite as good, but they are a fraction of the price. I mean, they are much, much cheaper, and they're also what's called open weight, which is sort of like open source, but a bit different, which means you can basically, the companies that download these AI can actually get into them and change them. They can understand what how the code works and so on. Whereas that's not the case with the American ones. So they're more open and they're much cheaper. And the most recent data I was able to find on this shows that the Chinese ones are already being more used than the American ones.
Yeah, that's interesting. So do you see this as the new arms race per se? Are there parallels that you see to the Cold War and differences as well?
I do, of course. I mean, it's definitely like, a lot of people talk about there being a new Cold War between America and China, and it's not really the same thing as between America and the Soviet Union back during the Cold War days when they were facing off with nuclear weapons. And it was all about mutually assured destruction and whether the world would be destroyed by a nuclear fight, and there was the Bay of Pigs and all that in Cuba and so on. But now it's not really, well, obviously America and China are both nuclear powers, but it isn't kind of that we're worried about. It's all about AI. That's how they're competing. And I mean, if you think about it, AI is the most sophisticated technology in the history of the world. And so they're competing with this. And there was a statement in May 2023 that was posted on a website called the Statement of AI Risk. And it was signed at the time by 350 AI experts, and they said that the risk of extinction by AI should be a matter of global priority, just as nuclear war is treated, right? So it was kind of using of the old Cold War language in a way. And that statement is still there on the website. You can find it. If you Google Statement of AI Risk, you'll find this, and you'll find that there's now 1,300 signatories to it, not 350. So more people have signed it. And the signatories include the CEOs of Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google DeepMind, which are the owners of Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini. And so these characters have signed this statement saying that there's some sort of risk of AI extinction, but they're also going hell for leather building the things. So I don't know, I mean...
That's quite a contradiction, isn't it, when you have language like that and the pace at which it's progressing?
So I don't know whether there is the risk of extinction of humanity from AI. I've got no idea. I mean, but all these people, the experts of it, have said that there is, or that there needs to be a priority that they need to worry about.
So then if there is some level of concern out there in the community, we know that it's in the narrative, the mainstream narrative. We are expected to hear from the PM, I think it's on Wednesday. He's outlining a broad position on AI. How can Australia stay safe while this is playing out, this AI superpower race is playing out between China and the US?
So Australia has created something called the AI Safety Institute, and they've put this person, Kate Conroy, in charge of it, who's supposedly I don't know her, but she's an expert on AI safety globally. And they've Andrew Charlton, the Assistant Minister for Science and Industry, did a speech about it last week, and he talked it up and said how fantastic it is, and and all this. But I mean, it isn't like they're not saying we have to test these AIs before you release them. They're testing them. The job of the AI Safety Institute is to test AI's models after they've been released, and it's voluntary. And and they're not saying what they're testing and what happens to AI models that don't meet the test or fail the test. I don't know what failing the test means. So look, I mean, the Europeans have instituted an AI Act that does require the AI developers to show them and allow them to test them before they're released. So it's a bit like pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
You know, where you have
TGA.
the TGA has to. You've got to have 3 phases of trials, and they're all got to be random trials, and you've got to have the data. You've got to present the data to the TGA, and if the TGA likes it, it'll let you release the drug. So that is not what's going on in Australia, at least on AI, and it's kind of what's going on in Europe. Certainly isn't what's happening in America, or China. They're being. It's interesting in China for domestic release. They're being quite tough about what's being released. I don't quite know how they're going about it, but it's all open slather on in terms of what they're allowing to be exported, because they want to destroy the business models of the American AI companies, which they look like they're going to do, I'd say. Fair
And of
chance
course,
of doing it.
yeah, and corporates need to position themselves as well. We will leave it there for now, Alan. Thank you very much for joining me.
Pleasure.